Ever since I started working on my online piano course, which was about 6 months ago, my social media feed has been inundated with advertisements on online piano courses. And it's been kind of interesting. In 2 weeks, you'll be able to play the piano. In 3 months, you'll be reading like someone who's been reading for 2 years. Oh, you just need to know this one trick and you'll be able to remember every song. I don't even know what that means. Like, what does it mean that in 2 weeks you're gonna be able to play the piano? Like, what does that mean? And what is 2 years worth of reading? I mean, believe it or not, in music and in the performing arts, there is no really true measurement. Like in 1 year, you should be doing this, and in 2 years, you should be doing this. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. And then that one trick, I mean, hey, if I knew that, I should take that course, right? And I can learn that one trick and I can teach all my students this one trick. So I thought at the end of this year, 2024, I should do my own version of you only need these 3 things to master the piano. Pam pam pam! Stay tuned. The first thing you need is time. Not just time, patience through time. When I get a call and I meet someone for an interview to become part of my studio, one of the things that I say, especially if it's an adult learner who is starting piano for the first time, I say, you gotta give me at least 3 years. And this will make a difference in your life. Give me 5 years, and we're really talking about getting to a place of proficiency. And when I talk about making a difference in your life or becoming proficient, I'm talking about regular practice. So if the practice is like spread out, I mean, it just takes longer time. You know, I actually used to not like the word practice so much because, you know, as piano teachers, we say that so much, like, did you practice? Did you practice? And then students like, oh, I didn't practice. Like, I just felt like the word practice has such negative connotation. But in the more recent years, I started appreciating that word a lot more. It's a practice. It's not something you achieve. It's not a place you get to. It's not a award you win. It's not a black belt you get at the end of it. This is practice, which means that you live with this and this becomes a companion in your life and you enjoy that process. And along with that, really, you have to have patience for yourself. You have to have the patience for your process. I would say one of the things I say the most during my lessons with my students is take your time. You know, students come in, they're so in a hurry to just play. And that is really not the way to approach this art of playing the piano. This is not something that can be rushed. So number one is time, and with time, you also have to have patience for the process and patience for yourself. The second thing you need is the ability to listen. There are two parts to this listening. One is ability to listen to music. If you can't listen to music, if you cannot distinguish music, if you cannot discern music, if you cannot compare music, then your ability to learn any instrument or music will be significantly challenged. So you need to continuously work on this ability to listen to music by just listening to music. But more importantly, when you're playing, you have to pay attention to your playing. And it's like the most obvious it's like the most obvious thing, but many people stop listening to music, and this is why. When you're playing the piano, it is so involving, like which finger am I playing? Where am I going? Which note is it? Where am I in the music? And oh my gosh, I got to do my foot. There's so many things that are going on that people stop listening to what they're playing. So you have to put attention to your listening. And sometimes I just let my students like figure this whole thing out, your fingers and, foot, right, left, up, down. And then once they have figured out those like basic mechanism, maybe it's a little bit after I say, now can you listen to what you're playing? Can you listen to the dynamics? Can you listen to the melody? And so especially if you're learning on your own, you have to continuously find a way to listen to your playing and be able to critique. And probably the best way, if you're not working with a teacher, is to record yourself or videotape yourself and watch yourself. The second part of listening is listening to directions. The best students are people who are following directions. And so if you hear something said often, whether you're watching YouTube videos or you're meeting with the teacher or you're looking at a book, if you see that someone is saying this again and again, or it's being said many times, it's because that's important. And even though it's important, probably it's ignored a lot. That's why we repeat ourselves, or you just don't, it just takes time for it to be applied. So ability to listen to your music and directions is number 2. The third thing you need is desire. You have to want it. And that will make you work on it. And this is not only common sense, but really based on my own experience of working with students. I've had students of all different talents and all different learning styles and all different musical abilities. And I've had also students who came with neurodiversity or learning challenges that made playing the piano and learning to play the piano really, really difficult, like 50 times more difficult than a typical student. And I think about this particular student I taught, and she had massive challenges in being able to listen to directions and hand-eye coordination and figuring out written music. But she wanted to play the piano, and she stayed with me for 8 years, and it was much slower process than someone who didn't have those challenges. But in my eyes, she's the winner, because until the end of my lesson with her, she enjoyed music. And she came because she loved piano and she loved music, and nothing stopped her. And now she's at a place where she can be playing the piano and she can be singing and accompanying herself. It still is not an easy thing, but she got to a point where she could use it to enrich her life and to overcome these challenges. So I always think about this student when I think about like the talent versus enjoyment and passion. And if you feel like you're someone who's challenged, but you have the passion, you have the desire, then you'll figure out a way to overcome it. And you're going to be the winner. And trust me, because I have experience, I have seen a lot of students who came to me very musical and talented. But if they didn't have the desire, they didn't last. And it felt like a real waste and real loss. I mean, probably 20 years down the road, they're going to regret that they quit piano, because I hear those things all the time. But hey, it's not late for those people either. So number 3, desire. Keep your desire and protect your desire. So that's it. I have no magic pill. I don't have one trick to teach you. There is no secret as far as I know. And I hope these 3 things still helps you to remind you why you might be in this and why you might want to do this and that you can do it. And I am sure of that. As many of you know, I've been sharing on YouTube, doing like 1 video a week. And I started doing this because I created an online course for adult beginners called Simple and Beautiful Piano for Adult Beginners. And this was just a way to let people know who I am and what my course is. But I have really enjoyed cultivating this channel. And I've really enjoyed the feedbacks that I've been getting. And, at the end of the day, I just truly enjoy helping people. I'm going to give myself a break for a couple of weeks, just because I also do really believe in everyone taking a break from work. But I hope you come back in the new year. One of the subscribers told me that they found a lot of videos that talked about piano playing, but not many people are talking about how to do it. So that really struck a chord with me. So in the new year, I want to also get into more of the how-to part of playing the piano. You can be expecting some follow-up videos on technical exercises. Many people told me that they are practicing the 5-finger scales every day. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. And I want to show you why I said it's so important. So I want to talk a little bit more about that and how to apply that into your piano playing. I want to talk more about piano technique, because I think technique is one of the hardest things to learn online. It really helps to have a person there and adjusting you. Like hopefully it's not like a chiropractic work. Sometimes it is. And I'm gonna continue to do these pep talks. And the reason I do it is because I know you need more than information. I have students that I've taught for, 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, 3 years, and they have become just wonderful musicians and composers. And they didn't become the musician and pianist they are now because they got good information from me. That's part of it. But along the way, they needed mentoring. They needed coaching, and they needed a lot of encouragement, and also checking in with the reality of both the joys, triumphants, and challenges of learning to play the piano. And that's why I feel that I will continue to share this with you. And I hope that you find it really useful in your own journey. So thank you again, and I will see you in 2025.